Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi ladies and gentlemen. Related to Prof. Edu International Conference agenda, let me present to you about our article. With the title of our article is Logical Thinking in Idealist and Rational Students, with me and my friend as author, and the first author is Lady Agustina and me as a second author, Chusnul Galatea, and we are come from Universitas Muhammadiyah Jember. An introduction about this study is based on the purpose of mathematics learning, which are to develop reasoning abilities. It says from Permendiknas number 22 in 2006. Next, when a student is able to draw conclusions, it can be said that their reasoning ability is functioning. So, the ability of mathematical reasoning is the capacity for logical thinking to derive conclusion. So, logical thinking is an individual's capacity to solve problems not only on existing procedures but also in a strong foundation of truth underlying procedure. And students who can develop their logical thinking, so they tend to solve problems easily. And related to students' reasoning abilities, there are another factor that can influence the successful of problem solving, which is students' character. Related to students' characters, there is closely related to their personality. And as we know that there are a concept of personality, it called Keirsey's personality, which means that it's personality that classifies a personality type based on the pattern of visible behavior, but more on how a person thinks. And this personality commonly is divided into four types, which are guardian, artisan, rational, and idealist. But in this study, we will discuss only about idealist and rational personality type. And from these two types, we will examine about their logical thinking skill from three characteristics, which are order of thinking and argumentative ability, and the last one is derivative conclusion. Now, related to personality type, the idealist personality type is characterized by students who are interested in material related to ideas, and this type is prefer working on tasks independently rather than in groups. And there are a lot of enjoy activities such as reading and writing. Meanwhile, about rational personality type, it's characterized by individuals who appreciate explanations based on logic. Rationals like to explore books they have not studied before, as they enjoy acquiring new knowledge or information. They tend to disregard unnecessary materials that they perceive as time wasting. From this text, we know that they have different characteristics about idealists and rational. So we want to explore about their logical thinking related to their personality. And the research method that we use is conducted um, with qualitative approach, and the respondents of this study are 7th grade students of Muhammadiyah 9 Watu Kebo Middle School. And the data will be obtained from Keirsey's personality type, which can be obtained through the distribution of questionnaire it calls MBTI. And the profession of social arithmetic problem is intended to measure the logical thinking of 7th grade students. So we choose one of the topic in mathematics, which are social arithmetic, that related to their daily life. So the final step of this research method is interview students who are selected in each Keirsey type, which are idealist and rational. So the result and discussion about this study. First one, we have the data of idealist 1. The first, in logical reasoning skills at point A, students can state all the information obtained in the question, both known and us. And the second one, argumentation skills, involve expressing logical reasons for all solution steps from the beginning to the correct conclusion. And the second one, argumentation skills at point B, students can solve the problem correctly at each step, and they provide arguments for each step used in problem solving. And the third one is argumentation skills at point C. Students express logical reasons specifically for the correct final. And during conclusion, students accurately arrive at a conclusion in the final result of their work. And now we talk about idealist 1. The result of the idealist 1, we have 6 results. Logical thinking sequence at point A, students can mention all the information obtained from the problem, both known and us. And the second one, logical thinking sequence at point B, students express the general steps that will be used in problem solving. And the third one, argumentation ability at point A, students can express the logical reason for all solution steps used from the beginning to the correct conclusion. And the fourth, argumentation ability at point B, students can solve the problem correctly at each step. They can provide arguments for each step used in problem solving. Fifth, argumentation ability at point C, students express logical reasons specifically for the correct final answer. And sixth, conclusion drawing, students arrive at a correct conclusion in the final answer. Now we talk about rational. For the rational 1, logical thinking sequence at point A, students can mention all the information obtained from the problem. And secondly, logical thinking sequence at point B, students express the general steps that will be used in problem solving. And third, argumentation ability at point A, student can express logical reasons for all the solution steps used from the beginning to the correct conclusion. Fourth, argumentation ability at point B, students can solve the problem correctly at each step. They can provide arguments for each step used in problem solving. Fifth, argumentation ability at point C, students express logical reasons specifically for the correct final answer. Sixth, about conclusion drawing, students arrive at correct conclusion in the final answer. And now for subject, for the second subject of rational type. There are logical thinking order at point A, Students can settle the information obtained from the question, both known and asked. And second, logical thinking requirement at point B, students express in general terms the steps that will be used in problem solving. Third, argumentation skills at point A. Students can articulate logical reasons for all the solution steps used, from the beginning to the correct conclusion. Fourth, argumentation skills at point B. Students can solve the problem accurately at each step. They can provide arguments for each step used in the problem solving. Fifth, argumentation skills at point C. Students express logical reasons specific for the correct final answer. And sixth, drawing conclusions. Students arrive at a precise conclusion for the final answer. And the last one is about conclusions and suggestions of the study. From this research, we know that because what we're doing is evaluate students based on 3 indicators, which are 2A, 2B, and 2C for argumentation skills, and 3A for drawing conclusions. This research concludes that only Keirsey Idealist 1 and Keirsey Rational 2 can meet all the indicators, while the others fail to do some in some aspects. Further research such as exploring how logical thinking, emotional intelligence, creativity interact to cognitive abilities with personality types. So that's our article about our study about logical thinking in rational and idealist students. So thanks for your attention. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.